And welcome back. So, we've talked through cutting our wall plates and fixing them down. Thinking back to our core behaviours and teamwork, Pete, what other trade are we going to have to work with when actually fixing down our wall plates?
The bricklayers.
Yes. Fortunately, we're going to have to work alongside the bricklayers because they're going to bed them down, we're going to fix them down, and we're going to make sure they're parallel, level, and free of any twist. So, marking out, where do we start? There's two ends that we need to consider here, and we're specifically marking this out for a hip end. So, I'm going to look at the opposite end of the hip to start with. Our first rafter needs to be 50mm away from that gable wall. Okay? You need that space for a couple of reasons. You don't want any timber tight to that gable wall because it's just going to suck in any moisture, and also it allows a little bit of sort of airflow and room for surfaces to go up there as well. So that first common rafter is going to sit 50mm away from that wall. From there, we can mark out our other common rafters. But you want to make sure your tape is butt tight against that gable wall. And then from there, you're going to look at specific centres. So Pete, where do you think we'll find those centres from?
Probably from the drawings.
Yes, exactly. So a specification or a drawing will tell you what centres. For this example, we're looking at 400 centres. So I just want to repeat that. Make sure you're taking your centres off tight to that gable wall. Okay? And that's exactly for the same as if you were laying out joists. Okay? Main reason being, when you're plasterboarding it, your plasterboard is going to go tight to that gable wall, and working with sheet material, it's going to land on the centre of a joist or common rafter. Okay? So we've got those set up. Start to look at the hip end now, and there's a key bit of information that we need. We need to know this distance here, which is known as our span. Okay? Once we know our span, we can work out our run. And we know our run is half of our span. So we're looking at a metre. So half of our span is 500. Now we want to set that back that distance there. What we're doing is we're creating a square, a 90-degree square inside there. Okay? There's several ways of doing this, and I'm going to show you one example. So we're setting this back to our run, and you will see another sort of pencil pen line in there as well. What do you think that's to allow for, Pete?
I would say is that for the saddleboard?
It is. Okay. I always like to set these pair of rafters back the distance of your saddleboard. So if you're looking at geometry, that line to your saddleboard, okay, is exactly what your run is going to be.